Hey everybody. So they're deleting comments, of course. Like I didn't get to respond to anybody's comments that were recently sent. I guess over the night or in the morning. I just woke up. I slept a ton. I do that every once in a while. I'll like go into a coma for like 12, 20 hours. So I went to bed. Anyway, so I wanted to address people's comments, and it's frustrating. I thought, you know what, if they do the deleting thing, I'm just gonna have to do a video. So what I'm gonna do is when this happens, I might do every few days or something. I'll call it video comment response or something. I don't know, something along that line to you guys' comments. So I'm going to be addressing a few people on here because I wanted to talk about their comments because I liked their comments. And then there's somebody I want to address because I'm having miscommunication with this person. I don't understand this person. No offense, but we're having major communication problems. And I don't know if it's you, if it's me, what is going on, if someone's messing with you. I don't know, but I want to talk about it. But first, I'm going to address this one. Prideless chicks. Okay. So you said you addressed my video Shan's topic. My nickname is Shan. I mean, cut my name in half. Shannon. My mom and everybody called me Shan growing up. Or if you like my silly side, shenanigans. I used to tell people, just call me Shenanigans. I actually was going to name my channel Shenanigans at first. But I really like Gaslit. So anyway, but Shenanigans. That's so me. That's so me. So you can call me that too. I don't care. Anyway, so she said, I talked about the topic of sex. And how people are just willing to have sex with people, basically get their freak on. They don't love them and they don't love you. And for what? To get diseases and to use, possibly have abortions over and over again. And so she's telling me to be careful with even talking about that topic. You know what? I don't care. They're already no offense, girlfriend, but they're already suppressing us so much. They can say the word, but I can't say the word. They're all right about having violence. But I'm not all right with violence because that is an act of violence. Killing something inside your body is an act of violence. But I'm not allowed to say, not, you're fine, sweetie, not you. I'm just venting for a minute. It's just, it is an absolute upside down, backwards world. And it's completely insane that I'm saying and I'm not even, jeez, this is so great. Do you know what's crazy is that I shouldn't feel bad. I'm going to cry now. Ooh, boy. I shouldn't feel bad for actually expressing my feeling about how it's horrible to do that act and to be with people who do not love you. But anyway, I'm just going to read her comment. It says, man, back in my Instagram days, I had so many friends who were into some insane crap. I talked about it in my little, about it in a little in my new video. Even though I was a trans by pan atheist. Just shorten her stuff. I still held tight onto my virginity. Now that's cray girl. I'm sorry. What? No offense. I don't mean anything like that. But we're different people, obviously. And felt super uncomfortable seeing all the drugs and sex they were having night after night and burning smokes on their body, shoving metal in their, oh jeez, it's like sadist. I never understood those people who are into like S&M, BDM, or bondage, and I mean, maybe a little, but not that extreme. Sorry. I'm not a really uptight person, but at the same time, I don't get, what? Why would anybody, like hear about people putting like hooks in their back and hanging suspense in the air? Oh, that movie Cell, Jennifer Lopez and what's his name? Vincent D'Onofrio. I know actors' names. I just because I've been around. I mean, I've always been a movie buff. It's just crazy now. You wake up, which is kind of easy now because being awake and everything. I can like remember scenes in movies and like, oh my goodness, yes, I remember that. It's like how you see black and white tile all the time, and I'm like, I know those movies, but I don't remember that in that movie. So to go back and watch that again and like, ugh. But also that I do remember enough about movies that I can remember the connections to the occult, that kind of stuff, which is, I don't know. It's whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Let's see. And then leaving it in as a punishment and so much more. Jeez. This is just, girl, dude, I never hung out with people like that. I never did. I'm sure I was probably with people like that. I just didn't know, but I never was like, hung out with people covered with piercings or tattoos. I mean, they had tattoos, some of them, but not like a massive. I have one, but, and it's just, it's really bothers me now because I have a butterfly tattoo on my ankle. And, with all the butterfly symbolism, it's like, dude, what? I hope I'm not one of them. The brainwashed butterfly dead girls. the I don't know, the sex kitten thing. I've talked about that kind of stuff before. I'm sure it does affect everybody. Their brainwashing affects our brain. All that kind of stuff. Let's see. These people nowadays are so lost and super possessed. I can't believe I just stayed quiet and played it cool and never realized the extent of the obvious. It's so lovely to see your heart softening, your spiritual eyes and ears opening, your faith growing, as well as your discernment and wisdom. She always makes such long comments. I love them though. With faith growing as a discernment wisdom. I love hearing your opinions and stories. What you said about finding a man of God touched my heart. I want to find a good man of God so badly. I say that you should find a man that loves God. I don't know if I even want to date. I just feel like, I'm sorry to everybody out there. And whether you're Christian or what, I don't know what I'm having problems communicating with guys even on YouTube. Just like, what is wrong with people? Like, no offense. I love all my YouTubers. I love all my subscribers, but there's just some weird stuff going on. And I know some of these guys are single and I'm not, I don't know, you never know, but it's like, dude, come on. If you're going to communicate with me, you got to communicate with me. I don't understand. It's so weird talking to people through texting and messaging and then things get deleted and it just I don't know. And if you're one of those guys that you think that you cannot be friends with a woman, don't even bother with me because I just, that right there, it's like, you have to be friends with me. You can't not be my friend if you think you're going to be my man or have sex with me in the future. I mean, come on. You have to be friends with the woman. You just do. So I've talked about that before. I've had some subscriber hit on me before, and I'm just like, dude, I want to tell you a little story. Okay. People like my stories. My mom, this is about my mom and my dad. So, I mean, they've been married. My dad rushed my mom to get married. They were virgins when they got married, and like virgins, like that's a horrible thing. No, that was a good thing. But my dad was, I think he's like 3 or 4 years older than my mom. See, my mom is 20 years older than me exactly. Not exactly, like, but she is 20 years older than me. And I think my dad's like, yeah, 3 or 4 years older than my mom. But he was rushing my mom because they were both raised Jehovah's Witnesses. My parents were little kids, like 4 or 5 or something around that age when their mothers became Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's pretty much all they really knew. And so they were good Christian-like people. They were virgins. They didn't have sex, they didn't, because they were little kids raised in that. They didn't have the worldly lifestyle. And when you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're not supposed to have sex out of wedlock, even though people did, and I was one of those people. But yeah, I was the bad girl. Anyway, so my dad was rushing my mom. Okay, so she was in high school. I think she graduated at like 17 or something like that. And my dad was rushing her to hurry up and graduate because, well, he wanted to get married, but he really wanted to get married because he wanted to have sex. And I know this for a fact, especially about my dad. I mean, this is a horrible thing to say, but no, he wanted sex with my mom. I mean, men do. They want to have sex. That's just what they want to do. And I don't know why this is a problem to talk about these things. But because you can't have sex out of wedlock, and he was, I hate to use the word, horny. Why can't I be myself? What is wrong with it? What's wrong with being me? I don't know why I should feel uncomfortable using these words. Why should it be bad? I mean, I hear other people's YouTube channels that are worldly channels, and they say these things, and they're not getting censored for it. And just because I want to be a Christian doesn't mean I don't have I'm still me, I haven't completely changed who I am. So if that word bothers you, I'm sorry to offend. Why would you be offended when we're talking about these things here? I mean, this is a person who's a Christian, and this is her past, and she's willing to talk about it, and I'm willing to talk about it, and I use lingo that sometimes may be offensive to people, but I don't mean to offend. Okay? Okay. We got that clear? Good. Okay. So anyway, so they got married. Yes, and they were virgins when they got married. And I think that was a beautiful thing. And I think it's beautiful that my dad wants to have sex with my mother so badly. I just do. Because that means he lusted after her, which lust creates babies. And how do you have babies if you're not attracted to the person? You have to be lustful for them too. But he also loved her too. My dad does love my mom. I know he does. So my story about what's going on, I was trying to say how my mom had told me that I was talking about men and women should be friends. Okay, so now I don't know what my dad felt like. My mom was I know my dad loved my mom. I don't know if he thought of her as a friend. This is what some guy told me. Men, and see, I don't know if women think that way, but this person told me that men think that way. So, or he does at least. I don't know. Which bothers me. I just think, you can't be friends with a woman. Now, maybe you want to be having sex with her too or something, but I think you could be friends with her. I mean, what the hell? What? You don't find like you can chill and laugh with somebody? You think the only way you can be around a woman is if you're having sex with her? I mean, come on. You can't even be around a woman without just wanting to have sex with her. This is a major problem, men. You have that big of a erection issues. I mean, there are unattractive women out there. Those are the ones you want to be friends with, right? You want to be friends with the ugly girls and have sex with the hot girls. But you have to marry the hot girls if you're a Christian. But you will never be friends with that hot girl because she's hot. But you only will be friends with the ugly girls. Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know what you're trying to say. Okay, anyway. I'm such a girl. That's obvious. So she told me, when she's like, old. I mean, she wasn't old, but she was in a, let's see, how old was she? This would have been 10 years ago, so I'm close to 50. So she's 20 years older than me. Let me see if I can do the math, because I'm completely retarded in that department. She's, so 20 years ago, she's 20 years older than me, so she would be 70 now, almost. And, oh, no, she is 70, because she was born in June, and I was born in September. So why am I going through all this to tell you this story? I think basically she would have been, holy crap, why can't I think? She would have been 60. Around 60, I believe. Yeah. That she told me, between 50 and 60, she told me basically, my dad loves sports. He loves football. He loves basketball. I mean, I grew up watching Seahawks and Sonics, Supersonics. I mean, I'm talking, I'm not a sports person. I've never liked football. I've never liked sports. I like to play the sports. We used to play touch football and play basketball and stuff growing up, but I never really got into watching it. It was just dumb to me to just sit and watch sports. And then later on, I find out all of it is like some rituals and the gematria of it all. And all of these people are just puppets and shills and all that. And I'm like, dude, if my father actually knew this stuff, it would just explode his brain. and Joe, there's a lot of Christians who are kind of neutral about sports. Jehovah's Witnesses are kind of what's the word? They're very competitive, and you're not supposed to be a competitive person when you're a Christian. I just don't think so. You're not supposed to compete with your brothers. But they are very competitive. I mean, I remember my dad played football. He was pretty athletic, and he would play football. He played football and basketball and golf. He was playing sports old. I mean, I don't even, he might still be playing basketball, and how old is he now? He's 70s. He might be still be playing basketball in his 70s. I seriously believe it. I saw pictures of him the other day. I haven't seen him in 10 years, but he still looked really good. But anyway, so she decided she wanted to be his friend and do things that he liked. And I mean, I never even thought of them as not being friends prior. But I grew up where they argued a lot. Oh, the arguments were just off the chart. And they stopped sleeping together. My mom started snoring. My dad snored too. So they started sleeping in separate bedrooms. This is like common. I see this a lot in marriages and households. Whether you're a religious person or not, people just sometimes stop sleeping together. This is like adult talk. I guess maybe I should put a rating on this. Yeah, maybe I better. So she decided she's going to sit and watch sports with him, because she used to argue with him about, I don't want to watch football. He was always into the playoffs and the Super Bowl season, and just always was